Hi, today I'm going to show you how to create a professional flyer or poster, much like this one, in Word. So the first thing to do is to open a new document, which you have here. And what we need to do, we need to get rid of all of the margins. So we should go up to Layout, to Margins, Custom Margins, and then we shall go into each box and simply enter 0 and press OK, and just ignore that box. So if we just take a quick look at the flyer we're going to develop, what we're going to do is firstly insert this image at the top. So I go to Insert Picture, and I'm going to put Picture from File, and I'm just going to select this image here, which I downloaded from pixels.com, and I'm simply going to insert that picture here. Now, if your picture doesn't quite fit the page, or is sliding all over the place, or isn't positioned to where you want it, you just click on your picture, simply go up to Wrap Text and go down to Tight, and then you can simply move your picture around wherever you need it to, and then you can stretch your picture out to the dimensions you want to. Now my picture here is a bit too wide down the page, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this center square, I'm going to press the Shift key, and I'm simply going to pull the picture up. Now it won't go beyond the realms of my page, so that's enough. If this picture was too wide and was distorting too much, I could actually crop the picture. So I could go up to the crop tool here, and I could simply pull the crop tool down, press enter, move my picture up, and actually I could probably just stretch it back out again. Good. Okay, and there's our picture. The next thing we want to do is add this piece of artwork over the top, this blue area here. So I'm going to go up to Insert, Shape, and I'm going to go to this square or rectangular icon here. I'm simply going to draw a rectangle to the size that I need. Now I've gone for blue, you can go for any type of colour you want, and you can simply change the colours by going up to this icon here that says Shape Fill, and you can just simply change your colour. And if these colours here aren't what you want, then if you simply click on More Colours, then you can simply scroll around this colour wheel here and select the colour that you want. So we're just going to go for a blue colour. Okay. Now obviously you can see that that has actually blocked the picture from behind, and we actually want to see the image behind. So if we click on Shape Format, if we double click on the shape, we shall get this sidebar here that appears, and actually we'll work quite a lot with this sidebar here. So we're now on Format Shape, and we need to go to this Fill section here, the fill being the colour inside the shape. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn down the transparency to 50%, and as you can see, the picture reappears from underneath. You can also just see there's a line going around the outside of this image, and if this was a different colour, say green or yellow, you'd be able to see this blue line that runs around the outside of the square. We don't want that line, so we're going to go to Line, and we're going to check No Line. And when I click off, you can see the line's now gone. So now we need to go up to insert. We need to insert another shape, and this time it's going to be a triangle. Once again, you don't have to be too accurate with this because you can actually move it around. So we're just going to draw a triangle, and then we'll just move it down a minute. You can see there's this circular icon at the top which allows you to rotate your shape. So we're simply going to click on that and we're going to rotate it. Now I also want to make this triangle shorter and wider. So you simply stretch your shape to where you want it to fit on your picture. Now I'll just click off and see if that's made it to the end. So it hasn't quite made it to the end. So I'm just going to use the arrow keys to move that up. And I think I just need to stretch it a tiny bit to the end. It's just gone over the edge just a little bit, so I'm just going to shift it up. There, that's fine. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to move that shape back just the tiniest amount into the square. And click off. Okay. Now I'm going to do exactly the same with this shape. I'm going to reduce its transparency to 50%. And I'm going to click no line. And I can see what I've done is I've thought that this was the shape color that I'd chosen, but it's actually defaulted to another shape color. When you select a color from the color wheel, this one here, it actually saves your color in a box. So whenever you click on this shape fill, your new color will appear here. So you don't have to keep searching through colors. You can simply click on that one and it will bring up your last color. Now you can see there's a slight overlap because there was a line there. Now I've moved that overlap along and there's no longer a line there. Okay, so now we've done the artwork on that top section there. And now what we need to do is start on this section here. So that was done by inserting a text box. So if we just go to draw text box, we're simply going to draw the text box here. Okay. Now what you need to do now is you clearly need to type your own text relevant to your business or your advert, whatever you need. So to save time, I'm simply going to click on this and I'm going to simply copy and paste it into here. And that will give you that next section. Now when I click off this, you will see that you have a line running around the outside of your text box, which we don't want. So in order to get rid of that, we simply you check on your box and you go up to shape options. I'm currently clicked on text options. I want to go to shape options here and I want to click on the no line icon here, and when you click off that you'll see that your outline disappears. And I'm just going to move this slightly. You can use the arrow keys to move your text boxes if you're not quite happy with their position. Okay, so the next part is this section here. Okay, so again, what we do in this one is we simply go up to Insert, Text Box, Draw Text Box. We then draw our text box, like so. And again, this is a text box for your own business words or your advert, whatever you want to put inside. But for speed, I'm just going to copy and paste those words into this text box and just move that up. Again, we've got the line again, so we go up to shape options no line, and click off it, and you'll see your line disappears. Okay, so that's the next section done. And then we move down to these 3 sections here. So in order to do those, again, using text boxes, insert, text box, draw text box. Now this is where Word really comes into its own. Depending on how many sections you want across your page will depend on how large your box is. So I think mine will be around about 1/3 to fit the 3 boxes in. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control or Command C, copy, and Command or Control V to paste. And then I have the exact same box to work with. So I'm just going to move these boxes over slightly, just so that we get an idea of where they need to fit. Now what you will do is, as you start to move text boxes around, they start to almost click into place. As you move your cursor, you can feel them slightly jumping into place. And what Word has done is it's identified where similar lines are in order to try to align those text boxes with each other. So it is quite clever. It's not completely inaccurate. You can move them up and down, but as I move, you can see that that's almost jumped into place to line up with these other text boxes. Now for the time being, I'm going to leave the lines around the text boxes just so that we can see where we need to put the text. So again, this is very much about your own words, but I'm going to copy and paste my words in. And I'll show you how to do the icons in a second. And just paste these in. And really I'm just doing this so that it speeds the process up, so you don't get bored with me typing lots of different words. And paste that in. Okay, so now we have our 3 sections. So as you can see on this particular one, just to add a little bit of interest, what they've done is they've used a little icon here, a little line here, and put some lines here as well. So what we can do is we can replicate that by simply going up to Insert, Shape, and Line. So what we're going to do here is, oh, that didn't work. I think it's because I'm checked on that box. Let's have another go. Okay, so if we just draw a line. Now we can adjust the line up here, which has lots of default lines that you can choose. If I go for this particular line here, that's quite thick, but actually I want it to be a little bit thicker. So all you need to do again is go up to the Format Shape panel here, and here you can see width. Now if I just click on this arrow here, I can in fact increase the width of my line, and as you can see that line is getting thicker. And then because I want 3 of them, all I need to do is copy and paste. Sometimes if it doesn't work the first time, just click off it and click back on it and it will behave. And then all you need to do is just move this line up to where you want it under your headings. And the good thing about this is that you can use your arrow keys to just nudge left and right. And again, it does that, again with the lines, it does that sort of clicking into place. And it's identified the alignment with these lines as well. And there's our lines. And then if we go back to the poster, we can see again, we've got these grey lines here. Now, a very quick solution to that is to simply paste another one of these lines that we've already done and simply place your cursor on the green dot. It will click into a horizontal position, and then you can simply change the colour of that. So let's change it to light grey, And if you want to change the transparency of it or the thickness of the line, you can do so. So if I just go up to here and I maybe reduce the transparency of that line to about 40%, in fact let's go to 50 to make it easy. And again, if we just copy and paste this, click back on it, copy and paste, and simply move it over, and again it clicks into place in alignment with this one as well, which makes life very easy. So now I want to get rid of those borders, so I click on my text box, I go to shape options and I go down to no fill, and again with that one, and again with the left hand one. Okay, and that section here is complete. So we have those three sections there, and then we're going to add a little bit of artwork here and then go on to the rest of the section down here. So if we go up to insert, shape, and this time we're going to go to this shape here. And again, you don't have to be too accurate because you can stretch and move these out. So I haven't quite made it across the page, so I'm just going to stretch that out. I'm actually going to invert this. And then let's move that up. Just going to try and move that up a little bit more to give us a little bit of extra space. And then I'm going to make sure that I convert this to the shape, the colour that I actually chose, which is quite bright. Anyway, so as you can see on the other flyer, there's a slight element of gradient in this artwork here and again down here. So what we can do is we go down to fill with gradient. Sorry, we're on text at the moment. Make sure you're clicked on your shape. Click on your shape and then go to fill, go to gradient fill, and this section here will appear. So what I'm going to do, these four boxes will you can fill in with whichever colour you want to. So if I was to click on this box and it comes with this orange outline once you've clicked on it, then you go to colour. So if I go to recent colour, it will now put the colour that I chose in there. Now you can play around this and you can put in whatever colours. If I want to put orange in there, you can see how the orange has changed here and it's put that orange colour in. You can have quite a lot of fun with this. If I put green in, obviously it goes green. So you can really mix up the colours. If it's something that your logo contains a slightly different colour, then you can have a bit of fun with that. So if I just click on the blue, but I actually want to lighten that blue. So if I go to colour and I go to more colours, the icon here, this little circle, is actually on the original colour that I selected. Now if I just move this cursor, which is light and dark, you can see the blue box here is darker or lighter. So with my gradient, I just want that to become lighter. So I click OK and we've got this slightly lighter colour here. And then I'm going to choose the same colour for the middle section. I can move this around and then I'm going to go back to the darker colour to create my gradient. That's a very, very faint gradient. So if I just go up to the blue and maybe select something that's quite light, so let's go to more colours and we're going to go to the lightest shade we can, and maybe even if you move it towards the centre, as you can see, it will make your colour lighter. So let's perhaps go for a slightly lighter colour, and now you can see that the gradient is much more effective. So if we move these lines inwards, you can see that the line in the middle here is getting smaller the more I move these two centre icons together into the middle. Okay, I think I've explained that enough. So let's go to the poster and see what we've got to do next. So we're going to do the About Us section here. Okay, so now we need to insert a text box. So go up to text box, and we're simply going to insert it here. And again, what we're going to do is I'm simply going to copy and paste these details here. These are just completely made up. You need to put in your own words in this section that suits your business, but I'm just doing this so that you don't have to watch me type. Again, we're going to get rid of the borders, so we'll go up to shape options, go down to line and no line. Now we're going to insert the little arrows here, and this can be a little bit problematic. So I should try to make this as painless as possible. We'll go up to insert icons and we'll go to this arrow here. Often what happens is, it depends on where your cursor is, and the arrows or the icons will be inserted where your arrow lies. So if we insert it, you can see that the arrow is actually underneath this section here. So what I found is the easiest way to do this, because sometimes what happens if you move it around, if you click on the arrow and try and move it around, it just becomes a real problem. So I found that if you make it big and then you go to graphic format here, go to wrap text and go to in front of text, then your problem's solved. And you can move it around. Often what will happen is your icon will be inserted somewhere over your page and it'll be behind a bit of something or on top of something. So the best thing to do is make it big and extend it out at the corners, then pull it forward with the wrap text, and then you can move it around. Okay, I'm just going to reduce the size down, but I'm not going to insert it up here just yet because I'm going to try change the colour to our original colour that we chose, and then I'm going to copy and paste it, and then I'm going to paste it again because I'd like to have 3 of them. Now I'm going to drag and drop it to the sections that I want, and again Word will sort of click them into place when they're aligned, which is very useful. That one's not quite right, so if we just move that one, I'm just going to move this one up just slightly, but again you can play around with these. Okay, and then if we go to this section here, you can see we've done that section, and we're now going to do meet the team, which is another 3 text boxes. So I'll just show you how I did that. We go up to insert text box, draw text box, draw the text box, and again I'm just going to copy that and just paste it into my section here. Now you'll notice, because this was done on this poster here, this blue is a slightly different blue. I chose a slightly darker one, which is probably a bit more appealing. So I'm just going to change this blue and just quickly click on home, and if we go to the text icon here, and we'll go to our original blue colour, and again with this one here, once you've selected that colour, it just defaults back to the last colour you chose. We'll just move this up so it's in line with that text box there, and then we'll just move that up a section to give us a little bit more space below, and then we'll just go up to format shape, shape options, go to the bucket, down to line, no line, and then we've got that section in there. Now what we're going to do is insert the text box for the team shots or the headshots. Once I've selected my text box, I'm going to copy and it's pasting my last thing in. So click off, click back on, copy and paste, and move that over. Just move that over with the arrow key. And again, you can adjust these as you see fit. I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to press Control or Command A to select all, Command or Control C to copy, and then paste. And that hasn't quite aligned properly because the text box is not wide enough, so we just widen that, and then again click on here, Control or Command A to highlight the text, and then again in here I'm just going to move this up slightly. It gives us a little bit more space, and then we're going to just simply shape options and take those lines out again so we don't have the lines around. And then you will have your own pictures of your own staff or emojis or emoticons, whatever you use for your flyers. I'm just very quickly going to insert some pictures from the online file at the side here, so I'll just fast forward whilst I do this. So now what we're going to do after we've done that section there is we're going to put a band or a bar at the bottom of the flyer for all of the communications such as email, websites, telephone numbers, etc. So I'm just going to insert a rectangle at the bottom of the screen here, and then I'm just going to put the default colour in that we chose at the beginning, and then I'm going to double click on here so we bring up our control section here. I'm now on format shape, so I'm going to go down to no line, but I also want it to be a gradient fill again, much like the bar here above. And what it does do is it defaults to your last section here, but I have played around with that since I did this section here, because I went away, made a cup of tea, came back and did something else. So what I basically did is I altered the colours around, and I put two dark colours at the beginning and the lighter colours at the end, which has made a gradient at the top to the bottom. Okay, so because this is a shape and not a text box, we now need to insert text boxes to pop in the communication sections at the bottom. So before I copy and paste this text box, I'm actually going to go up to Shape Options and No Fill, which just gives me the outline again. So I'm going to click off it, click back on it, copy and paste, move that to the end, and then just move the arrow key, and then paste once more, and then move that to roughly the middle. Of course, you can make these text boxes as big or as small as you want to. Now going to go to the home section. I want to put my typing in the center of my text box, so I'm just going to click on this centering icon here, and I want to make the color of my text white so it will show it well on this darker background. So if I just put, oh, it hasn't defaulted to the center. Oh, we'll click that again, try that again, and then just pop in telephone, and let's just pop in a random telephone number. And then what I want to do is, if I just look at that, I can always move that down. Let's just click on this one again, center it, and I'd like to have white text. If we go to website, and let's just put in a random website, makeaflyer.com, and then again center, white text, email. I'll put Lisa at makeaflyer.com. And then what we need to do is get rid of these borders. We'll go up to no line. Again, make sure you're on shape options with the bucket at the top here and go down to no line. Often it will default across the text options. You'll be clicking away and can't figure out why it hasn't got rid of the line. It's because you need to be on shape options and then click no line. Okay, well that's the end of this tutorial on how to make your own flyer. I hope it's taught you enough for you to go away and develop your own flyer with text boxes, images, allowing you to use the opacity to enable your images to come through, some gradients, inserting some images. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them in the comments below. I'm very happy to help. If you do like this video, please subscribe and have a great day.